Inky Pinky Punky, oh daddy bought the donkey. Oh Inky Pinky Punky, oh daddy bought the donkey. Donkey died, daddy cry, oh Inky Pinky Punky.
Mattel, I don't know, I'm not so sure. They also said, they're the only country I've heard, they said, well, we're going to go counter. We're going to try going someplace else. That's okay. Let him go, and we'll put 100% tariff on his toys, and he won't sell one toy in the United States, and that's their biggest market.
Yeah, are you ready? Get it. Yay.
Wisconsin has joined 20 other states in legalizing the liquefying of dead humans and flushing them down the municipal sewer system. And if you know from my research in the past, those then liquefied dead humans, many of whom died from the vaccine, of course, are being turned into biosludge and then spread on the crops as a form of fertilizer. So we have entered the realm now in 2021. This is not an exaggeration. It's all confirmed, double vetted, verified, that people killed by vaccines are dissolved into liquid, flushed down the drain, concentrated into biosludge, and spread on the food crops. Owen, this is like the Matrix. They are feeding the dead to the living. It's all 100% confirmed, and it's happening now in 2021.
You know the end is near. Check out this death chamber, this washing machine. They call it aquamation, where they liquefy the dead and then dump the remains down the drain to be recycled into the municipal water supply. And so people are drinking it, they're showering in it, they're doing their laundry in it, and this is happening in most states across the country. In most major cities, they're recycling dead people and feeding it to the living. What does that mean exactly? And they're grinding up the bones into powder. They call this calcium phosphate, which is going to be used for food processing, undoubtedly. Maybe in your vitamins.
Struggling because you ain't getting away.
I ain't got to try to get away. Steve here now.
What the hell Steve gonna do?
You go see what yourself was.
What's that, Steve? I heard so much about you. Ooh.
Guys, get back to the truck. Everybody back to the truck.
Ooh, I clearly underestimated Steve. Let me go get my pistol. Stay right there, Steve. I'll be right back.
Okay, sir, and is this the first time that this has occurred?
No.
Okay, and has it been in a situation where you've been unable to remove the...
Well, it's only been a few times, and it's never been an issue before. It's a wee bit tight, but it does slip off.
Absolutely. So we're going to...
Maybe you should assess the situation, maybe? I don't know.
Yes, absolutely, Tiff. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to just...
Please, crack on.
I'm going to just hold this here.
Be careful.
What I'm going to do is put the finger, and I need you to tell me where it's stuck up to. Just say when, okay?
Are you going to cut it, or is that what's going to happen?
We're not saying that's a possibility,
right,
but we're also not ruling it out. So let's just...
Yeah. About there.
We need to be sure on this one, sir.
Yeah.
Stifler asked everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't pick 7.
I would give myself a realistic 6.5. Okay.
Oh my God. Rude it, Andrew.
Okay.
Oh wait, I wasn't muted? I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, we could hear. We heard that, Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, man.
We were looking at Iran the other day in photographs from the 1970s. Girls had mini skirts. They all looked really hot. The guys had no shirts on, with six packs, walking down the street. Everyone's smiling. Looks like Europe. It looks like you're in Italy. And now it's run by a dictatorship.
Okay, babe, I just need my sunglasses.
No, what you need is a treadmill.
Excuse me? Don't fucking talk to me like that, my nigga. Are you good? praying for me for real, so don't test that.
You need more of those.
You have no idea who Romeo is.
You ain't Juliet, my friend.
Yeah, the fuck I am. Don't talk to me like that.
You look like Julio.
Yo, shout out to Caesar.
My dad's name is Julio. Don't fucking talk to me like that.
See, I called it.
Okay, what the fuck is wrong with you, my nigga? Like, I'm a professional organizer. I organize closets and offices for high-value Jewish people.
Huh? So a maid.
Excuse me? I ain't no fucking maid, my nigga.
And tell us, you went on a sponsored slim, didn't you?
Yeah.
How much do you owe? That's very unkind of me. I knew they were good sports, but you have to be wearing a dress like that. No, I mean...
Do almoço, gente, ó, nada melhor do que repousar aqui na rede junto com a Caoa.
Now to our correspondent Gary O'Donoghue, who's in Minneapolis. And Gary, all eyes on this case.
Yeah.
Good.
Why do all of the celebrities today look like they're malnourished? This is not just weight loss. This is what happens to people on Ozempic. Semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic, works by slowing digestion, reducing appetite, and forcing the body into starvation mode. This means your body isn't just burning fat, but also eating up its own muscle, collagen, and connective tissue. In this process, your face is usually the first to go. That's why you're seeing these dark, sunken eyes on many celebrities nowadays. Studies are already showing that weight loss from GLP-1 drugs, like Ozempic, isn't just body fat, but also a disturbing amount of muscle. This muscle loss destroys the body's metabolism, and it makes it age at an unnatural speed. And this is what creates the so-called Ozempic face. Just look at recent red carpet photos. Many celebrities are showing the signs. Look at this picture of Selena Gomez, for example. She has those sharp, malnourished cheekbones where there used to be softness. And look at Ariana Grande. I actually feel kind of bad for her. She looks like she came straight out of the gulag. Major signs of being underweight and malnourished. On this woman right here, you can almost physically see her muscle being chewed up by her own body.
So this is a migrant hotel in the Newcastle city centre. It's a 4-minute walk from the monument. It's housing 800 illegal males. This hotel is owned by Imran Khalik. He's supposedly earning $4 million a year from this government contract. $4 million a year. Migrants from this hotel have been following girls around. From this hotel, have been following girls back to the student accommodation from the university. The university is nearby. The migrants from this hotel have been following them back to the student accommodation. And all it takes is for a drunk girl to walk past you, all right? One of the migrants are going to drag them into the alley and rape them. It's only a matter of time. I can guarantee it's already happened. But it's not that you're going to see it on the news because the police are actively covering it up. And the Columbia police are actively covering up the migrant crimes.
这个直接下去打开就可以了。哎呦！咦，你还能呢，孩子？OK， 看钱。
A man was arrested today on suspicion of stealing the Queen's handbag. He was later released after she failed to pick him out at an identity parade.
Part of it was inbreeding.
This is your own theory.
No. Look at
Someone else has a
Muslims and
theory?
inbreeding, major problem.
I've never heard this before.
Especially with immigrants in Britain, like the Pakistanis in London. They'll have all kinds of serious inbreeding problems because that's an even smaller sample size you're dealing with.
Strap yourself in for this. 70% of all Pakistanis are inbred. And in Turkey, the amount is between 25 to 30%. More stillbirths among immigrants. A rough estimate reveals that close to half of everybody living in the Arab world is inbred. A large percentage of the parents said, this is blowing my mind. So listen to the BBC investigation in Britain several years ago revealed that at least 55% of the Pakistani community in Britain was married to a first cousin. Holy shit. BBC's research also discovered that while British Pakistanis account for just 3.4% of all births in Britain, they accounted for 30% of all British children with recessive disorders and a higher rate of infant mortality. What in the fuck?
So you're trying to tell me Anne Frank did not write her own diary? Check this out.
The 15-year-old girl Anne Frank and her father, Otto Frank, were deported from the Netherlands to Auschwitz in September 1944. Otto was treated in the hospital at Auschwitz. Several weeks later, in the face of the advancing Soviet army, Anne was evacuated along with many others to the overcrowded Bergen-Belsen camp. Tens of thousands of Jewish survivors chose to leave Auschwitz and go west by January of 1945 with the very same people who had supposedly been murdering them every day for years. Anne Frank died of typhus in March 1945. However, the original diary manuscript was forensically examined by the German State Forensic Bureau, the Bundeskriminalamt. Their analysis determined that significant portions of the work were written with a ballpoint pen. Since ballpoint pens were not available to everyone before 1951, portions of the work were added well after the war. Handwriting experts determined after closer examination of the originals that all of the writing in the diary was by the same hand, and the BKA determined that none of the diary handwriting matched known examples of Anne's real handwriting. The true author of the diary was Jewish novelist Meir Levine, who demanded and was awarded $50,000 in payments for his work in a court action against Anne's father, Otto Frank. The truth about the Anne Frank diary was first exposed in 1959 by the Swedish journal Fria Ord. It established that the Jewish novelist Meir Levine had written the dialogue of the diary and was demanding payment for his work in a court action against Otto Frank. An extract from the Swedish articles appeared in the American Economic Council letter, April 15, 1959, as follows. History has many examples of myths that live a longer and richer life than truth, and may become more effective than truth. The Western world has for some years been made aware of a Jewish girl through the medium of what purports to be her personally written story, Anne Frank's diary. Any informed literary inspection of this book would have shown it to have been impossible as the work of a teenager. A noteworthy decision of the New York State Supreme Court confirms this point of view, in that the well-known American Jewish writer, Meir Levine, has been awarded $50,000 to be paid him by the father of Anne Frank as an honorarium for Levine's work on the Anne Frank diary.
It doesn't feel like me. I look like a man in a dress.
Well, no fucking shit.
It's not likely to happen, but just say I attacked you now.
Yeah.
Right? Would you beat me off?
Yes, but no more than that.
God, but how long would you beat me off for?
As long as it took.
Really, all the way?
Yeah, as long as it took.
And would you beat me off even if people were looking?
Well, I would hope that
I mean, we're
joined
in
in
a
and
studio.
helped me.
Right, so would I.
That's what I
but
would
what
want
if, Jimmy, what if
society
somebody
to-
else came in through the door and started attacking you as well? Would you beat us both off?
It would be hard to work, but I'd have a go.
And
yeah.
if you get to the point where a whole room full of men is attacking you, you would try and beat them all off and
I'd have
list
to
all
somehow.
help. You'd have
And in
to,
that case,
because you would. I mean, yeah.
I'm not quite sure how. I think I'd be more likely
All
to run
hands
like
to the
hell.
pumps. But if you're in a corner, you would beat them off.
I'd have to, of course.
Okay. And who'd pay for the dry cleaning afterwards?
Many.
I'm not going to school. Look at me. ¿Qué pasó? ¡Ey! ¡No, Daniela! ¿Qué te pasa? ¡No, Daniela! ¡No, Daniela! ¡No, Daniela! ¡No, Daniela! ¿Qué te pasa? ¡No, Daniela, ¿qué te pasa?
¿Qué me pasa de qué?
¿Por qué te pusiste morada?
Morada, sí, yo estoy bien.
¡No, Daniela, ¿qué te pasó?
¿Qué me pasó de
Te pusiste como morada.
What's one crazy drug fact that blows you away?
The fact that people put nutmeg on custard tarts and eat it as though there's nothing wrong with it. Because nutmeg is actually a deliriant, and if you have more than one, you are going to have suffer delirium, which is not a nice place to be, and it can be potentially fatal.
When you say more than one, what do you mean by that then?
The nuts.
Right.
Right. So you put a little nutmeg on food.
Yeah.
It adds a bit of flavour.
Yeah.
But if you go too far, I mean, not you know, what a normal person would not go too far with nutmeg. But if you actually made nutmeg tea with a couple of nutmegs, say, you're going to suffer dire consequences and possibly death.
So I'm actually a really famous soccer player from England. And I have one of the biggest radio shows in Europe.
Shut the up. Shut the fuck up.
China could dominate the world economy in the next decade. Confucius say, I do not think this story had much validity. I don't think we're going to use that one.
He's got greater density in his right forearm than his left. So that suggests there might have been some kind of specialist activity that he was constantly doing.
Well, I don't know, some...
People used to freak out if a white woman had a baby with a black man. They used to call her an N-word lover, be like, you're disgusting. But now, it's totally fine to be a single mother.
Well, mate, self-explanatory, this. It's the cloud must have been out all morning. I've just come back from Middlewich, and it's been that easy. There's actually nothing about here. I've had planes go over, and they actually disappear straight away. Proper over the moon, mate. Hang up, mate. Look at them skies. Cells everywhere. Unreal. And there they are. Double trouble. But yeah, I'm buzzing again.
I don't really care if you have worked in air traffic control all your life, or you've been a pilot for 40 years, or... I'm not even dismissing you on the basis that you had 55 COVID boosters despite having COVID 18 times. No one will ever persuade me that this is normal. No one will ever persuade me that as a little girl growing up, this is what the sky used to look like. Like when I remember, you know, at school or whatever, you drew pictures, didn't you? Fluffy clouds. Fluffy clouds. When did your clouds, when you were little, drawing pictures of the sky with the sun and your family, when did you ever draw a grid in the sky?
All right, so this is happening and you need to know about it. When I first saw this story, I thought it was a joke, but it turns out the very same government that can't fill potholes, that can't run trains on time, that has a failing healthcare service, where no one seems to be able to get a doctor's appointment, with an economy on its knees, that very same government believes that it's now qualified enough to dim the sun. Now, I've always pushed aside geoengineering and chemtrails in the conspiracy loony bin, but to hear that the UK government has greenlit this and is going ahead in the next few weeks with tens of millions of taxpayer pounds going into it, I sat up and started paying attention. Turns out they want to spray these particulates into the sky to make clouds brighter to reflect sunlight back out to space. Now, as far as I knew, living in the UK basically all my life, the entire UK is already filled with cloud almost all the year anyway. And the idea that a country this big in Northern Europe, by spraying its skies with who knows what, is going to affect the global climate and save us all is sheer lunacy. And you know what's crazy about it? When you limit the sun's ability to have that light reach the ground, you're affecting plants' ability to absorb carbon naturally with those crazy things called trees and plants through photosynthesis. And so what you'll see happen through this loony government program is that the ability of trees to grow will be stunted, the ability for crop yields to grow will decrease, and what you'll find across the board is that crop yields will lead to less food, less security for its country, less food all around for other animals. And this is all, to me, just a Ponzi scheme for these people to get rich off of, where these scientists or this body or this organization is able to access tons of money from UK grant money to combat climate change. It's an absolute joke. I'd prefer that to be spent planting trees and reforesting kelp forests and seagrasses and creating marine protected areas that actually do good. Excuse me for my controversial opinions, but this is nuts, and I don't see how the UK government gets to do this without the consent of its people. We're living in the clown world. Let me know your thoughts down below. Follow my page. We'll dive into it more. I need a break.
Does anyone else wonder what good old Danny Boy had to do to reprise his role as the Karate Kid? Because the new Cobra Kai series, it's a big hit. they're going on to season 6. I wonder if he had to do what the rest of them have to do to get ahead. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, here's just a glimpse from the 80s. And for you youngins out there, here's some more recent. That's the new Bears quarterback. I'd put money on them being pretty good. So he got me thinking, if he wanted to be part of the club again, I wonder what he had to do. So I went looking, and boy, it didn't take long. Not long at all, actually. In fact, my wife was watching The Housewives of Jersey Shore, and she just happened to pop up. Her name is Rosie, and she plays the gay cousin that randomly appears on the Jersey Shore. And if you're not noticing it already, they share some awfully similar features and mannerisms. And it's not only the features and mannerisms and facial structure and features, but they also just happen to be the exact same height, 5'9" and 5'9". But that's not even the piece de resistance, as I like to say. Oh no, because that comes in the form of bone structure. Because as someone who studied the body for many, many years, I notice things. And when I watch Cobra Kai, I always notice Ralph Macchio's right arm is longer than his left. Enough said. So when Ralph Macchio jumps back into that Karate Kid role for the umpteenth time, don't forget to think how hard he's really worked. Just like the guys before him. Or should I say, girls. I would like to end this one by saying this is all speculation in my opinion, of course. Rosie from the Jersey Shore could just be an exact doppelganger with the same height and bone structure and mannerisms and facial features. That happens in life. All for entertainment purposes only, of course.
So they had a camera deep under this oil rig, and they spotted this thing with these insane long appendages. Look at this.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's different.
Like when you see that thing underwater floating around like that looks like an alien.
Totally. That is our exact kind of depiction of what an alien species
Go to that green one right next to it. Yeah, look at that. Like, look at that thing.
It's crazy.
Man. I mean, if you saw that underwater, you would shit your pants.
100%. 100%.
And it's 100 feet.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's so strange. Before they got this video footage of it, they didn't even know if something like this was real.
I mean, what you drive, a skip? Madam, read the sign. Our employees and visitors are entitled to be here without threat of abuse or rude language. Right, well, try not to be such a difficult cow, love, then you wouldn't need a sign. Madam, I will call security. Security? I'm 75 years old. What do you think I'm going to do? Knit you another sign that says, go and fuck yourself. Security! Yeah? Yeah, you call security, love. Me and this extremely fat man will not take this lying down. And he can barely get up.
I do Pilates.
Good luck to you, love. Every little helps.
I go 3 times a week.
Yeah, what, I got canteen there?
I'm not that fat.
Security, please remove this woman from my desk. Oh, listen. You leave this poor man alone. His only crime is loving food that little bit more than he loves Pilates. And look at him. He loves Pilates.
Okay, if you had to guess where this beach is, where would you guess? And this isn't the shocking part of this video. This is Belgium. So, how many of you would have guessed Belgium? The shocking part of this video is I seen a statistic today. I thought it couldn't be real. Turns out it is real. 83.9% of people under 18 in Brussels, Belgium, are non-Belgium. They're not from Belgium. Either being born abroad or having no Belgian ancestry. 84%. Is that not an insane number? That means only 16% of the people under 18 years of age are actually Belgian. How fast did that happen?
very much. I think we have to start with this staggering cost of the asylum hotels and accommodation, more than £4.5 million a day. It's more than triple the original estimate. £15 billion over 10 years is what they now think. They thought it would be about £5 billion over those 10 years from 2019. I think we can guarantee, given the scale of the migration issue that is ongoing and getting worse, 40% higher the Channel boat arrivals just this the first few months of this year than on previous years, that bill is going to go up and up and up. But why on earth are we spending so much money on this?
Have you ever seen the video, a trail camera video that they set up on this nest of hawks, and they're sitting there at night just looking around? This owl comes in from the background. You see his eyes in the distance and just snatches them. Watch this, because it's amazing. Here it comes. Watch this. Look at the eyes.
Oh,
bam! That other one is like, what? Where's my brother?
What just happened?
What the fuck? This is what an owl is. It's not give a hoot, don't pollute. It's not.
No.
This is the way you get to the library.
They are assassins.
This is Alcatraz, and if you watch this video, I promise you, you will never look at Alcatraz the same again. Now, when I zoomed out here, I want to show you something. Do you see what I see here? With a mouth and eye, and then follow me along with this giant, elongated, in my opinion, probably some type of serpent dragon, maybe a non-winged. Now, this video is going to just continue to rev up as we go, but to allow you to see that these things existed, I want to just show you a few more. This is a giant dragon I found in Utah, and you can see it down to its giant head and its mouth across here, where you can even see its jagged teeth, and over here there are molars. And then we go to the east coast of the United States, you can again see remnants of this giant dragon head. Nose, eye, all here. But this gets even crazier, because not only is this guy right here, but tell me, you do not see what literally looks like some type of human face with an elf ear, eye, nose, and mouth. This whole thing right there. And again, it looks like it's some sort of elongated serpent snake creature. And I'm going to show you some evidence that both of these guys probably existed. First, I need to show you this fountain that was built in 1583 in Austria. And it says it was literally constructed from a single piece of slate and a memorial to the dragon that kept plaguing this city in the 13th century. Oh yeah, they just created this giant sculpture fountain for fake fantasy dragons. And when you look a little closer at that fountain, do you see what I see? Not only that, but there is folklore all over this flat realm we live in, talking about things like giant lindworms that were serpent-like creatures without wings. I mean, they even talk about these specific to areas in Central and Western Europe. But not only that, but there's also folklore of serpent-like creatures that had human-looking heads. This was a painting done in the 1700s that I found. And when we go back to the geography, and again, look at a serpent-looking creature, very clear mouth and eye and body. And again, I mean, I literally have a hard time with this one even, but I think these things existed. It's talked about in ancient text of manipulating DNA, human DNA, with animal DNA, and who knows the type of abominations that could have been created. But of course, this is all for entertainment purposes. I know that Alcatraz is just some rock formation caused from years of erosion, and not at all some piece to a giant serpent, non-winged, snake-like creature, maybe battling some sort of human hybrid insane animal. Entertainment only.